often and update things. Yeah.
Great. Can I contact you later?
Yeah, please do. You wanna,
Yeah. Do you do image recognition and etc.? Like do you do accounting? You want to automate accounting fully? So. Great. Cool.
yeah, I mean, what kind of algorithm problems? Do you think video type stuff is a big one?
No, right now we were talking about documents. So image recognition is like which part of the document has which information and be able to filter that, etc.
Okay. Yeah, we've done a lot of that.
Yeah, seems great. Thank you.
We have actually a fair number of building block algorithms, which maybe aren't even really considered AI machine learning, but will do things just like locate a page, figure out the bounding box, center it, align it.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So the next session, Rise and Response, will start in a moment.
Great. Thanks. Yeah, no, it was really interesting. Please do reach out if there's anything you know that's like to answer.
Hello, everyone. So next session is Rise of the Bots, which will be given by Daniel Ilkovich, who is a founder of Dexter, his third startup with the mission of giving writers and business the tools to create chatbots without needing any engineering experience. So let's welcome him.
Thank you. Hey, so as I got introduced, I'm Daniel. I'm the CEO and founder of Dexter. So Dexter is a bot building platform targeted at writers, business owners, or content publishers. But I'll get back to that in a second. I think a lot of you have seen sessions around chatbots today, but it's worth noting that a bot can be a lot of things. In the context that I'm going to talk about it today, it is a conversational interface. So something that you talk to over SMS or Facebook Messenger, Slack, Line, WhatsApp, Viber, whatever that might be. This is also a slide that I've seen a few times in various forms today in this room. But bots have had a pretty long history to this point. In 1950, Alan Turing came out with this question, can machines think, and the Turing test. And then in the 60s, Eliza, which is a bot psychotherapist that actually accomplished that Turing test and tricked a lot of people into thinking that this bot was real. And then in 2000, I don't know how many of you remember Smarter Child and the AOL IM days of bots. It was a bot that could give you movie show times, tell you the news, and just chat with you. And I actually just met Robert Hoffer, the founder of that bot. He said like 60% of people within the first 10 messages try to do one of two things, either curse that bot out or sleep with it. So it's a little bit of a statement on humanity. And then today, this is I think a very different bot cycle. I mean, obviously, everyone talks about bot hype, but there are some clear differences here. The sheer number of bots, and even more than that, what we're calling the botscape, the things that are supporting bots out there is enormous. Everything from NLP to just plain old creation, piping, connecting different services together, all to just the actual bots themselves, discovery, which we'll get to in a little bit as well, and then the platforms they're being distributed on. So it's just, the coverage is enormous, so I think that this is fundamentally different. So, in conclusion, bots are hot. They're really hot. There's just press and press and press and press. They're really, really, really hot. And so I think it's important to to take a step back and ask ourselves why. Like, why are they hot? Right, so first and foremost, it's a new but still familiar interface. At our core, throughout computing, we've always been trying to chat with the machine and also with our friends, relatives, what have you. So we understand how to do this. We understand how to ask a question and expect a response. The other part is bots are actually pretty easy to build in their simplest form. And then the platforms, Kik, Viber, again, all the platforms are giving us the tooling for easier UI. So it's making it easier. And then the third reason is that apps are for saps, right? People aren't downloading apps anymore. And you've probably seen this stat, or these two stats, if you've been in reading the literature out there. The usage of messaging apps has surpassed that of social networks. So this is where the people are. People are in messaging. So we have a unique opportunity right now to find them in the location that they're in. The other one that really surprises me is that 65.5% of smartphone users don't download a single app every month, which is insane when you think about it. And this number, where I read this, they don't actually talk about this, but the remaining percentage of apps that are downloaded are mostly come from the big 5 players, so Google, Facebook, Amazon, and the like, right? So it's really hard to build an app and get people to download it. Apps are good for things, but bots are also good for some things. So there are 4 key use cases. First is information retrieval and customer service. So this is kind of the most natural use case we think of when we think of bots. This idea that I can just, instead of navigating through some complicated UI on an app or on a website, I can just ask for the thing that I'm looking for and I can get service that thing, whether that's my order history or some complex customer service question. Marketing is another key use case right now. So the one thing that's been untapped on a user's phone is that notification screen. It's relatively clean right now. I think over time that's going to change because messaging, right, that's one of the notifications that we let come through to our notification screen. So marketers are going to try to capitalize on that free real estate and find users there. And then the third thing is anything that's transactional. So you want to buy something, and you're going to maybe reorder that delivery that you got yesterday. It's pretty easy to just tell the bot, say, hey, get me that same Chinese food that I got last night, or something like that. And the last is in content publishing and advertising. So I think Twitter started this when they condensed the amount of content that a human wants to consume into 140 characters. And I think we're seeing it now with Quartz, for those of you that have seen that app, where we're getting little tidbits of news delivered to us. And that's kind of in line with what humans want to consume. So it's an easy place for content publishers to push content to their users, to their audience, and naturally everywhere there's content publishing, there's advertising. So in line with those kind of key use cases, the rough economics of bots are, you build a bot, the ways to make money are either charge your users directly, charge your advertisers in the case of content publishing, and then marketers try to re-engage your customers and stay present on that notification screen. So the other question I get a lot is, like, how do you build a bot? And so one way is to go out and hire a huge engineering team. And that's kind of the traditional way that apps were built, right? I think, and what Dexter's trying to help do is bring the tools for building chatbots to their rightful audience, which is writers. And so this quote, writers are the new designers. Creating bots is easy. Creating good bots is really hard. And in order to do that, you need the right writers on staff to be able to engage their users and bring them through some sort of funnel that gets them the actual result that they want. So the other thing that I get asked a lot is, are bots actually better than apps? So they accomplish roughly the same functionality, they have a similar interaction and economic paradigm. The ways that they're better are that if you're trying to target a younger audience, they're all on these messaging platforms. and it's much easier to get them there. So they have a highly engaged audience, they're already there, they're simpler to build, but probably the most interesting thing to me is that they're the ultimate deep link. I think about like back before the internet, you used to call, you had a question about a business, you'd call them on the phone, you'd get a real live human being, if you can imagine, and you'd ask them that question and they'd answer the question and it just would get done and no problem. And then the internet came along and businesses found out that they can spend 20% of the money and satisfy 80% of their requests. And so that was great. And so for 30 years, we were handling the 80% of things we can do with websites. What we lost is that kind of 20%, a differential. And so now with chatbots, what we're getting to is a way to kind of get to the deepest place of knowledge as quickly as possible. And so you start to eat away at that missing 20%. But then there's this. This is a tote bag from a recent conference, and I don't know if you can read it in the back, but it says, what do we want? Chatbots. When do we want them? Sorry, I didn't understand your request. So NLP is not really there yet. And I think everyone kind of has just admitted to it. It will get there. I wholeheartly believe that. And so at Dexter, we're focused on building the horizontal tools that will be able to leverage that technology when it's here. But it's important to just not be too critical about it in the moment and sort of embrace the fact that it's going to come, and we just need to make sure we're ready when those algorithms are mature enough. So some key takeaways as NLP AI continues to improve, the bot ecosystem will grow. They're good for some problems, but for those problems, they're really, really good. Writers are going to be the future here. And distribution, I didn't really touch on this too much, but distribution's an issue. It's one of the smallest concerns that I have. Once bots are good, the platforms will find a way to help you find the bot that's good for the problem you're trying to solve. So I'm actually not worried about that, but a lot of people are super nervous. So I'm going to do a quick demo. We had a few bots built on us, I'll skip over this for the demo. So once you have an account on Dexter, you come to the screen and you're here to build your first bot. So I'm going to build my RIT bot. Cool. So I'm going to do, we're just launching this, so it's a little rough around the edges, but I'm going to do a little hand waving here to kind of get you to the place where you need to be. At its core, this should feel a lot like a WordPress site. You launch a bot, and then you have a series of conversations that you're having with that bot. So it's, again, for writers, there's a somewhat simple markup language that writers can use to kind of type out what their bot does. So anything plus means the user's going to say it, so I'm going to match against that word, and minus is what the bot says. So in this case, I'm going to type hello, and the bot's going to reply hi. And you can obviously right, and you can keep editing and iterating. So where this gets interesting is the one thing I did and I kind of glossed over is created a topic. So where this gets interesting is how do you establish context as you're building these bots. When you first so star matches anything. You might be familiar with that. And then I want to, let's say, create a topic that's an introductory topic to the conference. So I'm going to create a topic called intro, and then everyone that comes in from the default topic, I'm going to direct them to that topic. Okay. And then, so the first thing I want them to hear, I want to match anything, and I say, welcome to the Rakuten Technology Conference. What do you want to learn about? Right. So now if I type in hello, if I'm testing this, I should get that response. And so I want to give people options about what they want to learn about. So maybe I'm going to put some buttons in here. So I'm going to tell you about two things today. I'm going to tell you about myself. I'm going to tell you about Rakuten. So now if I type hello, I'll actually get a couple of options over SMS. And I can match on those options now. So I can say either if someone types 1 or the word Daniel, I would like to direct them to a special topic called Daniel. And then if someone types 2 or Rakuten, I want to direct them to a topic called Rakuten. Right, so I'm going to create these topics now. Daniel. Say Daniel is great. What do you want to know? And then you can insert, let's say, I won't even bother with this. Here. Oops. Oh man. Okay, sorry, hit back by accident. This is actually a response, and I want to match anything. And then I'm going to create the Rakuten matcher. And I'm going to say Rakuten is a technology company in Japan. Cool. So if now I go through and test this, and I type in hello, what do I want to learn about? It says Daniel is great. What do you want to know? And so in the Daniel space, I can actually, match on any words. So I want to, let's say, talk about my favorite color. And from here, you can say things like, Daniel's favorite color is blue. And so now, since I'm in that Daniel topic in my conversation flow here on the phone, I can do things like, what is Daniel's favorite color? Or I can just say color, and it knows I'm talking about Daniel. And then if I want to, let's say, go back to the main menu, I could have an option that says menu, and that will redirect me back to the intro topic. Right? So in that way, I can get out to the Rakuten information point. So this is cool. This is the first thing that we do, is we create an easy way for writers to kind of create these conversational flows. Once you're done creating it, it's not useful to have it just here. You actually want to put it somewhere on the internet where people can access it. So you go ahead and click on this Platforms button. And for this demo, I'm going to choose Messenger. I've done a little work ahead of time so we can do this in a fast way. But I've just created a Facebook developer account and a Facebook page for the conference. And so this is going to go ahead and authenticate me with Facebook and deploy the bot out to Messenger and live or die by the demo. But if I type hello right here, it says, welcome to Rakuten concert. What do you want to learn about Daniel or Rakuten? And you can do the same things in Facebook that you could do in the phone tester. One thing to note is that in the phone tester, if you remembered, it was like a numbered list, but in Facebook we use native UI elements like buttons. And so we'll adapt your script that the writer writes to any platform it's deployed on. So that's what we're working on at Dexter. We're also going to be, we're actually going to release in a week or two, so if there are any bots that you guys want to build, I'm happy to help you walk through that. And I'm going to stop for some questions. Yes.
Of course. Let's give him a break. So, okay. Yes.
So that's a great talk. So in your demo, you have shown how to manually codify the bot's responses.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible for the bot to learn the responses from data?
Yeah. So if you think about the algorithmia talk that just happened, I'm really excited about the tech that they're building. So we think about the call and response work its way into 3 phases. The first step is the pre-process step. And so right now what you're seeing is basic text-based matching in that step. Over time, what we'll start to include are things like NLP or machine learning that can intuit what the user actually wants based on context. So that's the pre-process step, and what comes out of that step is some sort of intent with what the user wants to do. Then there's the basic match step, and that's what the scripting language is providing. It's saying this was a thing that was sent to us, here's a response to that match. And then the final step is the post-process step. The final step is the post-process step, and in that step, that's where we massage the data to work on every individual platform. So one thing I don't touch on is like we're for writers, but we actually also have an SDK. So when you reach a wall, you can tap into any one of those phases and use some sort of external technology to deliver results. So we're not opinionated with how you do that, but we can certainly support it.
Hi, really interesting talk.
Thanks.
My question is, so as a developer and also a customer, you already have an interface, like let's say you call and there's a voice recognition system, like my bank, they're like, oh, say your card number, and like, that stuff drives me through the roof. Like, it's so frustrating because it never works properly. And it's much more frustrating than just like manually like inputting stuff. Do you think that NLP is at a sufficient point where that will not happen with customer applications for bots?
No.
Okay.
It's definitely not. And anyone that says that it is, I haven't found anyone that says that it is yet. So it's not ready, but that's okay. So we like one thing that I didn't show off here is you can talk to a bot. I believe the bot should tell you that it's a bot, right? The same way that you know that it's a robot talking to you when you call someone on the phone. And then they should give you an out, the same way you can hit 0 and get to an agent. So we have a feature that lets you bypass the actual automation and then routes you to the right human. So the job of the bot is just to focus your question as much as possible, and then when it can't deliver an answer, to be able to send you to the right person. And if we can save, like 1 out of 10 service requests from going to a real life person, that provides tremendous value.
Thanks. Yeah, that's good to know. Is it okay if I ask one more question? And what do you think it would take for it to get to that point where that experience does become that seamless?
I'm not a data scientist, so it's like hard for me to start to make these kind of guesses. But I think data sets being more open source and more available, so that bots can learn from them. And Google's released a few. I know it's just time and understanding. Japanese, for example, is a very complicated language to understand from a context standpoint. English is a little bit easier, but still difficult. So there are just enormous challenges, and it's going to take a lot of time to figure that out. But I'm optimistic that we'll get there. We'll get somewhere much better than we are now.
Okay, thank you. So I'm really sorry we have to end the session, and let's give him an applause again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So welcome to the, thank you very much for coming to the Rakuten Technology Conference. Thank you.
Yeah.
How many records operating with?
How many writers?
Yeah.
We don't staff any writers, so we're just that. But when we get an engagement, then we'll match the writers to their client. Yeah. So we're more focused on just technology.